Hi, I don't know what the sound's going to be like. There's not really much wind at the moment, but I know the camera is pretty sensitive to picking up wind. So if there is any wind noise, yeah, I'll have to try and clean that up later. I just wanted to come down today to the beach just to get out in nature. It's absolutely beautiful. There's no chemtrails whatsoever. There hasn't been, I've noticed, for the last few days, probably most of this week actually. Friday was a little bit overcast here and there, and we thought it might have rain was setting in, but it didn't actually end up raining. But for the majority of the week, it's been really, really clear. And I noticed a couple of people on some of my social media have said, even in other parts of the world, in Canada and some parts of the US, have said how the last few days have been really, really clear. So yeah, they've stopped spraying us for a little while. So we're in the middle of winter here in Australia, but it's absolutely beautiful. This is how I remember the winter days, really crisp and clear. The sun's still got a little bit of power to it, so when you stand out in the sun it's quite warm. So yes, I just thought I'd come down and enjoy the beautiful outdoors and get into nature. I've been doing a lot of research recently, and it can tend to bring you down a little bit when you get into some of the darker things. And also I've been really digging into the Mandela effect. I've been following Brian Staveley's channel for quite some time, and yeah, he's got a lot of really good content regarding the Mandela effect, as well as a lot of other things. And he is very similar to my way of thinking. He doesn't put all his eggs in one basket. He pretty much looks at all different issues and different subjects and different so-called conspiracies, and tries to build bridges between the different communities, which is what I've tried to do. Funnily enough, this week I did an interview with Mark Sargent. He was down here in Australia, down in Melbourne, filming for a Australian TV commercial. I live up here in Queensland, which is northeast Australia, so logistically it was too hard and too late notice for me to get anywhere near him to do a face-to-face, but he was gracious enough to grant me a Skype call, so we did the interview, and it's up on my YouTube channel. And I found the interview, he was so easy to interview. I had a whole page of questions, and I didn't even really have to refer to them because he pretty much answered everything anyway, just in the general flow of the conversation, so that was really good. But it's funny, I've had a lot of my supporters, subscribers and friends and people that are into what I'm into, saw the interview and thought it was a good interview, and he had some really good points. A lot of it we've already heard before in other interviews. I mean, I guess he gets interviewed that many times and is on that many shows around the world, so I guess there's nothing new there really with what he said, but I'm just trying to get it out to a wider audience here in Australia. But even so, I've had some negative comments from people as well, saying what's it like to interview or talk to a shill. I don't see anyone as shills, really. I mean, yeah, I guess there are definitely paid shills out there, and I don't know, but I'm going on face value, and I'm going on the content that he's provided on his channel and what he does for the community and how he tries to get the word out about flat earth. I've never heard him dissing flat earth or calling it a psyop or anything like that. He's been 100% supportive of the flat earth, and it doesn't matter whether people are into it or not. The fact is, the truth is the truth is the truth, and we do live in a relatively flat realm. We don't know the shape. I mean, we suspect that there could be a dome above us, but we're not sure for certain. But we can have our hypotheses, we can have our thoughts, and just because somebody has a different hypothesis or a different thought or a different view doesn't mean that they're a shill or that they're wrong or that they're a bad person. I mean, we're all in this together, and until we can really all come together no matter what side of the community you come from. But until we can just all agree to disagree, but pool our resources, pool our knowledge, bring our ideas together to some sort of cohesive unit, we're forever going to be fodder for the so-called elite. I mean, they don't all agree on everything, all the different factions in the upper echelons of the 1%. But the one thing that they've got in their favour is they know how to pull together and to create a solid unit for one common goal. And it doesn't matter what model you're looking at, the common goal is to awaken people to the fact that we're not hurtling through space on a spinning ball. We've been lied to. Clearly there's hoaxes and false events and you know, media lies, NASA lies, pretty much the whole world that we have been indoctrinated to believe ever since we came out of the womb is completely different to what we've been told and indoctrinated from an early age. So if we can just come together on that common ground, regardless of all the differences with the different models, we really do need to have compassion for one another and to allow people to awaken in their own time. I mean, a lot of people are just coming into the flat earth now, and so they're finding a lot of content that, you know, we've been listening to for the last few years, and they're just starting to get their heads wrapped around it. So we have to have compassion for everybody, you know, whether they're still thinking that the earth is a spinning ball, or whether they've come into the flat earth, or whether they've come into, you know, it's a dome, it's a flat plane, it's a realm, it's concave, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact that we're all human beings, we've all chosen to incarnate at this particular point in time for a reason. We need to pull together and stop this ridiculous just kindergarten, preschool, well, even kindergarten and preschool kids aren't as critical and dogmatic and naysaying as some of the people that I'm finding out there. But anyway, you're always going to get haters, you're always going to get people that don't agree, so I'm not really paying them too much mind, but I'm just wanting to get it out there that I'm a bit like Brian, in as much as I look at all avenues, and I don't really hang my hat on any one particular thing. I think there's validity in a lot of different things, and it could be a cross-section of things. I do believe that the earth is a realm. I like to refer to it more as a realm rather than an actual, you know, plane, or, I mean, I might refer to that Okay, I don't know what happened there. The camera just decided to shut itself down. But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to come out here and do a little vlog. Who else have I been looking at? Oh, I finally got membership with Crow 777, so I'm now able to watch all the, as I call, tabooed second hour of the shows, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm going to have to allocate a bit of time to sort of go through all the back issues of his shows to try and catch up on all the stuff I've missed out on. But I really do like Crow and Jason's work, and I'm hoping to be able to get a copy of Jason's movie Shoot the Moon as soon as it comes out on Blu-ray. I know you can get it digitally online, but I actually like to have the hard copy in my hand that I can have on my bookshelf, and I can put into my machine and play it at home. The same as with books. I really love holding books and having books on my bookshelf. I love the smell, the feel of them, and there's nothing better than sitting down with a really good book rather than using a Kindle or looking at ebooks online. That's just me, but yeah, I'm pretty old school when it comes to those things. But yeah, so yeah, Crow 777, I've been really sort of wading through a lot of the content there, and it's just absolutely fascinating. So yeah, really need to set aside a lot more time to catch up there. And one last thing, there'll probably be 1,000 other things I think of when I turn the camera off, but just for now, I might end up adding more to this later before I upload it. Okay, the camera's not playing ball, but quickly, one other shout out I'd like to do is for Charlie Freak Sense TV. Okay, and I'm back. I don't know what's happening with the Nikon. It keeps cutting out. Maybe yeah, I did charge the battery when I was at home, but I don't know, maybe I need to lighten the load with the files and get a bit of memory back, or get a new SD card. Anyway, last thing I was going to say, yeah, Colleen and Charlie Freak have got the Shire Animal Rescue Sanctuary down there in Mexico, or for me, up there in Mexico. And they are desperately, desperately, desperately in need of some Patreons to help fund what they're doing there for the animals. They're doing a wonderful job taking care of abused, neglected and homeless animals, and they've got vet bills, food, shelter, all sorts of things to consider. So they've reached their halfway mark, but they've still got a ways to go before they can get to their goal for the month. So please check them out. It's called the Shire Animal Rescue Sanctuary on Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description anyway, but if you can afford even just the lowest one is $5 US a month, which works out at around about $7.20 or $7.50 Australian a month. So, you know, that's like 20 something cents a day. It's ridiculous how low it is, you know, the cost of it. So please, if you can afford, you know, to buy a cup of coffee a day, well, this is even less than that. So, you know, if you really love animals and you want to make a difference in the world, please help these guys. They're doing a phenomenal job with these animals, and they really, really, really need your help. And if you become a Patreon, you also get lots of newsletters from them. You've got free access to all their books. So Charlie's got some great books and some podcasts and things like that he does. So it's really worthwhile, and I'm glad that I'm doing it, because I know that I'm making a real difference in the lives of all these wonderful, wonderful animals that give us so much love, unconditional love. Okay, that's about it for me from down here. I'm going to head home now and get on with the rest of my weekend. So, yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Love you lots. And, yeah, just don't forget to get out in nature and to just recharge the batteries after doing all the delving in deep into all the rabbit holes. Okay, ciao. Hey, I'm back again this afternoon. Sorry about that this morning, breaking the transmission every couple of seconds. The memory card in the camera was almost full, so it kept cutting out. So anyway, just wanted to finish off this little vlog. The dogs are getting a bit hungry over there. Yeah, still beautiful, beautiful blue skies. I'll just quickly pan around so you can see. Yep, not a chemtrail in sight, so that's awesome. I can't remember how many days it's been now, but yeah, nearly all week I would say. Just finished reading Mark Devlin's Musical Truths, and as you can see, I've got lots of going back and researching. I've put heaps of bookmarks in there so I can go back and look up some of the websites that he cites in his book to do further research. And then I'll be picking up Musical Truths number 2, so that's really good. Yeah, a bit of a bummer about the music industry. I mean, I've known for a couple of years, or more than a couple of years now, and having to let go of your music idols and knowing that everything is engineered is a little bit difficult sometimes. But I've been digging up some really good alternative music that is more authentic, and also my daughter and I have formed a duo, so we're going to be getting out there and doing a little bit of our own stuff as well. So there'll be some more original stuff coming soon in the next few weeks and months. I'm trying to encourage her to actually start her own YouTube channel so she can showcase her beautiful voice and her musical ability as well, and her songwriting. So that's something else to look forward to. Yeah, this morning I mentioned too about having to get out in nature every so, well, not having to, but wanting to and needing to really get out in nature to recharge the batteries after doing so much research, because you can get a little bit burnt out. Like, I have got heaps and heaps and heaps of videos still backed up that I want to sort of have a look at, but I've kind of put the brakes on it a little bit recently, because I'm finding well, a lot of the material is now sort of just repeating itself, and there's not a lot of new stuff coming out at the moment, really. And B, sometimes it gets, your mind gets a bit foggy with all the information that you're absorbing. You know, it can only take in so much, and then you have to take a step back and be able to process some of what you've learnt, and, you know, put it into little sort of boxes, or file it away, or do a bit further research on it, or, you know, figure out how you feel about it or what you want to do with that information. So I think at the moment my sponge is pretty soggy, so I need to wring it out and dry it out a bit, and yeah, just absorb a lot of stuff, and then, yeah, recharge the batteries a bit, and then away we go again. So I think for the time being, what I'm going to be doing is concentrating on my Caravan of Consciousness podcast, just trying to get some people together to just get their perspectives on different things. So the topics will be ranging everything from flat earth, Mandela effect, chemtrails, GMO foods, holistic stuff too. I want to touch on some, you know, not just the conspiratorial type subjects, but also on remedies and things that we can do. Hang on a minute. Tash, stop digging. Sorry, one of the dogs is digging. Glenn's going to have a fit with his yard being dug up. Yeah, so yeah, it's sort of putting a bit of positivity back out there too, because we are what we think about. You know, we do create, our thoughts create, and what we think about we bring about. So it's good to know what's going on in the world, and it's good to be aware of the darker side, because, you know, as they say, know thy enemy. But we also need to raise our vibration, like I think I've said before in a few of my vlogs. So I think we really need to focus on being mindful and coming from our heart, and spending time in nature, spending time meditating, spending time doing things that brings us joy and passion, which for me is reading and my music and photography. So yeah, just finding things that bring us joy, and also of course my little granddaughter, she brings me so much joy. So but yeah, just finding that passion in life can help to balance everything, and sort of pull us out of a little bit of the quagmire that we find ourselves in, with all the stuff that we're finding out about the reality that we're actually in. And hopefully we can change our reality by raising our vibration and becoming more positive, and then maybe we will be shifting into a different sort of reality, one that's more congruent with what we're wanting. So alright guys, that's it for now. I will try and edit this in the next day or so and upload it, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, ciao.